welcome to my YouTube channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. My name is Liz and this is Let's Get Lizicle, where we do everything card making. Today is day 7 of our holiday card series, and we're going to be, again, mixing and matching a ton of products. Starting with Sweet November's Christmas Minis stamp set. I already have the snowman stamped and colored because we did that in a previous video. And then I'm going to be doing the Santa for the other card. I'm going to be using Mama Elephant's holiday messages, or just like little tiny sentiments. I think for the snowman I'll probably use Season's Greetings. And then we'll pick something else for the Santa version. I have already did all my die cutting. So I'm going to be using the Serenity Ornament from Mama Elephant as well. And this came out last year, I believe. I did one card with it, either last year or the year before. I did one card with it last year, I think off camera. I don't think I did one on camera. But I did one for one of our vendors overseas for work. I did some cards to give to them because they work extremely hard for us. So I decided to make some cards for them last year and sent them with my coworker when they do their yearly trip at the end of November. So I should probably do that again this year. So we'll see. Anyway, I've cut the snow birch tree layer in white, and I did a solid gold option. I was gonna like ink blend the background too, but I was like, you know what, this gold looks nice. We'll leave it as is. The reason I have this buffalo check print is because I want to do clear stamping on top of it, like embossing ink, just to give it like a bit of subtle texture, just so it's not so plain, because I have this other option, which I absolutely love. It's so cute. So we have our snowman, he's already colored. I cut this out of the white, this out of a navy from Michael's Recollections 65-pound card line, and then this silver parts. I cut the top part only because I wanted the circle part as well in the silver, and then I cut the other piece for the topper. So we're gonna double layer that. And then this is my buffalo check print, which you can take any of your like 65-pound cardstock. I haven't tried it with anything heavier. You can try in your own printers at your own risk. It may or may not go through. I do use the 110-pound Hammermill cardstock in my printer, so it should be okay. But to use maybe 80, I don't know if you can go much heavier than that, because this it's 110 pound, but I think the GSM is a little bit lighter. And anyway, so I printed this a while ago. This is the buffalo check one version, and then on the back I printed like the bigger biased version. So when you download the pack, I think it's like $2 for 4. You get this scale in this orientation and on a 45-degree angle, and then same with this one, you get it this scale and then on a straight. So you could use either one of those options. I think I'm going to use the smaller one because I prefer the smaller one, and it's somewhat similar to this stamp. I'm just realizing now it's like maybe a millimeter difference in the squares, which was unintentional. It's just the way I did the pattern. But it is fairly close to this, so again, I'm going to stamp this on here with some clear embossing ink just to give it a little bit of texture. We're going to color the Santa, assemble the cards, and just have fun with doing that. So I will move over to my voiceover and we can start assembling these cards. Okay, so voiceover Liz here. I absolutely love how both of these cards turned out and would definitely do these again. I love this, whatever you want to call it, gingham or buffalo check background that I did with the embossing ink, because it just gives a little bit of pattern without it screaming like buffalo check like the black and red one does, which again, I absolutely love this print. I use it quite a bit on Christmas cards. It's very Christmassy, very like Father's Day to me. It just reminds me of my dad's lumberjack jackets that he used to wear all the time, and I don't know, I'm just like, I love a lumberjack print. So this one with the embossing ink just gives that like little bit of a subtle touch to it without like screaming like pattern in the background, if that makes sense. You could do this with any of your background stamps. You could do this with individual images and make your own patterns, which I might end up doing for a video for next week. I'm not sure if I'm going to use a tonal ink or use the embossing technique, like the bossing ink, but we'll see. I've not filmed that one yet. That one's next on the docket. But yeah, so I like the subtleness that it gives to this, and it's just a different look. This whole, like, the Santa one is very different than the snowman one, because the snowman one I did a bit more contrast, a bit more color, and the Santa one is very like gold and white and red, and I love it. And it's a very quick and simple card to put together, because I'm not using one die set. I'm using a stamp and then another stamp set for sentiments and stuff. The background, again, is optional. If you have pattern paper, you could use pattern paper. You could create your own patterns. You would do this. If you wanted to add a little bit more of a like subtle touch to the background as well, you could heat emboss this with the clear embossing powder as well, just to give it that bit of gloss instead of like the matte look. I like the matte look, very much a matte person over glossy. But yeah, there's like multiple different ways you could do this, and this is just two of the ways that I did do it. Again, originally I was going to ink blend a background and then put that on like just like a gold frame instead of doing like leaving the background gold, but I kind of like the background gold on the Santa one. It looks really nice. I do wish maybe I would have added the snow to this one as well. I could still add it. I haven't given them away yet, but I think I might just leave it because I'm lazy and I don't have time. But yeah, so for the Santa one, we're just using the birch background, and I cut the topper in gold too. I cut the little loop off the top. I actually end up doing it to the second one as well. Like, I left it on because I was going to leave it on, but I kind of like it without, especially since I'm not going to be like, you know, attaching it to anything. Originally, I wanted to make these as removable ornaments, but these are fairly large. It looks like the die itself might be about 2.5 by 3. Like, I don't know, it's a fairly like big size die, and I didn't think that it would be like a good size to do as an ornament. I like to do my ornaments a little bit smaller. So I just decided to glue these straight down on the card. Originally, I was thinking about doing like a gatefold card with this on a band that you could remove, which I've seen Jennifer McGuire do before, and I think I've done it before as well on an ornament I did with one of my cup files. It was I think it's like a to-go cup, like a Tim Hortons kind of like to-go cup that I did, and I did again a technique Jennifer McGuire did in one of her videos where you kind of like do a back layer, you glue it at the top, and the bottom you slide the belly band through it, and then the person's just meant to rip the belly band off and then take the ornament off and use it as an ornament on their tree or hang it up somewhere. So I was going to do that with these, but again, they're fairly large images. You can see it takes up a good majority of a card. This is an A2 size card, and just decided to leave them glued on and just as like a decoration on the card. Again, I absolutely love these cards. And don't cry, but I'm doing some stamp surgery. I think this is just a lot easier than trying to like mask areas off and move it around. If you're not into that, don't do it. Originally, I was very hesitant to do it as well, but I often do this. I will cut my stamps apart when I feel like I need to, and then you can just put them together when you want it long. A lot of these like little sentiments in this set are longer sentiments, and they're very tiny text, so I wanted to make it fit within the space, so I just cut it pretty much in half, and it just says greetings from on the top and then the North Pole at the bottom. And then for the snowman one, again, I did it on like a navy colored cardstock. Here I am cutting the top off, so I'm actually not going to use the second silver one that I cut out. I cut the topper here out of silver, and then again this layer in white. And we're going to add a little bit more to this card, just because usually with snowmen I like to do a little bit more of a snowy scene, and this is much more contrast than the other one. Again, we did white on gold with the Santa one. This one's navy on white, so you can like see it pop out a little bit more. And then once we add the snow, it just looks like a nice snowy winter scene. And here I am scraping off the acrylic the acrylic paint off my acrylic block. If it dries up, it's not a problem. Just scrape it off. It comes off no problem. I do this all the time. This is just like a cheap block I think I got off of Temu or whatever, and I just use it mostly for doing these techniques where I do the controlled snow. And you'll probably see in my next couple of videos where I just keep adding dots of paint to it because I, again, made multiple cards in one day and filmed the processes, so that I could just, you know, mass produce and then mass edit videos, which is what I like to do. I just find it a lot easier to do it that way than trying to film and then edit, film and then edit. It's just easier to film all the videos I want to film and then edit all the videos I want to edit. So that's the way I did it. For this one, we're using a Happy Holidays sentiment. And then I'm going to add a little bit more detail to this, again with the controlled snow, and then I'm going to add in some glitter details on the top of the snow hills with my clear glitter gel pen. Both these cards came together fairly quickly, I think because I had one of the images already colored, but it took me about half an hour, maybe 45 minutes tops, so these would be 45 to an hour max from start to finish for 2 cards, which is decent. But those are our cards for today, guys. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment down below, and let me know your thoughts. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, please subscribe because I'd love to have you here, as well as my Instagram and Facebook for additional content. And until next time, thanks, guys. Bye.